Live from Indianapolis, Indiana, welcome to the Crossroads Sports Radio Show, presented by Scott K. Nichols and State Farm Insurance. And now, here's your hosts, Brandon Reef and Jonathan Birdsong.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Crossroads Sports Radio, episode number 216. I'm your host, Brandon Reef. I'll be joined, as always, by my main man, Jonathan Birdsong, here momentarily. Great show this evening planned. We've got NBA offseason news. The new season's getting ready to start. The draft is over. We've got NBA free agency coming shortly. We've got the NFL coming up. We've got Major League Baseball. We are in the doldrums of summer now. So all that's going on in Major League Baseball, we'll get into that. Our man, Jonathan Birdsong. JB, how are you?
What's going on, Brandon Reef? What's going on, Crossroads listening audience, man? I know you probably in the middle of giving a rundown. Like, man, what a great weekend we've already had getting through some of the NBA draft and going into free agency, man. But please don't let me interrupt. If you're giving us a rundown, man, give us the rest of tonight's rundown of tonight's show.
Yep, like I said, news and notes, NBA and the Pacers. We've got baseball going on. We also have an interview today with Kevin Williams, PBA professional bowler. Will join the show here at the next bottom of the hour. Will be joining us, so we'll have some talk with that and more. JB, I guess we'll dive in. NBA draft recap. If we look at the recap, Pacers, Mathurin, Nembhard, and Kendall Brown, the three picks for the Indiana Pacers. You got to say you got some good picks there going into free agency.
Yeah, not like the the blue blood schools, can play for you. Automatically guarantee that the players that you have selected are going to be, long tenured NBA players for you. But you kind of got to like who the Pacers drafted from the schools it came from. A lot of folks believe that, and even me, I'll be the first one to say, I think the Pacers definitely got more athletic at the wing position, was what they needed. And though they did, not you prep people, though they didn't trade Malcolm Brogdon, that's probably something that's probably going to happen closer to, as I think it's going to happen close to as we get towards training camp. I know what they said. I know they said they're not actively trading Brogdon or Miles Turner. I know it's kind of crazy now going into the draft, but that was not the case. But here's what I will say. I think there's more changes that potentially are coming, and that's for darn sure. But you have to like what the Pacers address as far as the draft is concerned. And also know that Kevin Pritchard, I know, even on this show, we give him a hard time for who he's brought into the fold, but he hasn't made a bad trade yet. right? So why, you know what I'm saying? Why? I know there's people calling for Brogdon services. We know there's people calling for Miles Turner as well. So, but you don't want to get taken advantage of. So I think they're gonna be patient. They're gonna be, you know, they're gonna be cautious and listen to offers. And like I said, as far as like the young interjection of what they brought into the Pacers organization, man, you have to like it. What it looks like on the court, you know what I'm saying? You got to, at some point, it's gonna be a learning curve. You know what I mean? We'll probably get a lot of highlights during the summer league or whatnot, but you have to like at least what they put together in this youth movement in the offseason.
Yeah, absolutely. Pacers have 1,000 guards on this roster right now, so they got to be making some trades or at least unloading some people. I just saw they picked up the option for Brissett for him to come back next year. Like you said, you still got Brogdon on this team. You still got Miles Turner.
Well, Brandon, think about it. It's not out of the possibility some of these guys are going to get G League assignments. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? Some, you know what I mean, the guys that we selected, will be playing for the Mad Ants potentially. It depends upon if anybody gets hurt or whatnot. We hoping that doesn't happen. They might get called up and get acclimated into their primary roster. But you know, Brandon, I think Buddy Hield won't be a Pacer come February, and I think Malcolm Brogdon won't be a Pacer come sooner than February. To be honest with you.
Okay. We'll see with that. Question is, with Brogdon, you know, what kind of, and I guess, John, you look at it free agency wise, there's not really great talent out there. This year's free agency class isn't the greatest there. And, you know, this is a rebuild, so this will be another struggling year next year to kind of build this organization. And I heard, John, and you can sit there and shake your head, but I heard another couple people say that it's time to cut bait on Lance Stevenson. Bringing back Lance Stevenson, all that does, you're in the middle of a rebuild. All it does is cut into minutes for players that I would like to be having out there to get those minutes, to get those building minutes. That's what I would like to see out there, and then not have to worry about bringing back a Lance. That act's all over with now. I'd like to move on from it.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard decision. Lance Stevenson being a fan favorite of how many eras of Pacer teams, right? It's a log if they keep it, and I don't know how they do it. If they keep Lance, there's really a log jam at the guard spot, at point guard and at shoot guard. If Lance, and you know, they can go 3-guard offense. You know, we've seen that before. But if Lance is your point guard, you know, then you got issues. It's not pretty, right? So I don't know. But Brandon, I think you're probably leads that he's not here. But as somebody, you know, saying cheers for the Pacers, like, man, you hope he, you know, if it's not here, wherever you go, you hope he's just as successful as he was in the Pacer uniform.
Okay. Looking around the league, John, Kyrie Irving. What do you do, and where do you go with this? If you're looking from Brooklyn's, he's opted in, but he's looking for trades. He's opted in.
Well, doesn't that tell you, Brandon? Doesn't that tell you that the market really wasn't what Kyrie and his representation thought it was? Like, you know, none of these guys, as much as Kyrie and anybody else, and we'll get to James Harden here in a second, right? Like, these guys still want to play. They want to get paid, right? So, like, there was a way for him to opt out of his deal and go play for the Lakers, but then he would be playing for like $7 million, man, instead of $37 million, which is what he opted back in for. He opted back in for $36.7 million, right? There's not enough championships or bragging rights that would make you cut for $30 million to go play for the Lakers just because you think that'd be a better fit for your skill set, and you could have this happy reunion with LeBron. That's not possible, right? So he opted in. He's still probably looking for the 3 or 4 season deal. You know what I mean? Over the course of over 4 years, it would probably pay him upwards of $47 million a year, right? That's what he's looking for. So this year, Brandon, he's got to play. He has to play. He has to show up for work. Otherwise, teams are going to be even more apprehensive next year, and they're not willing to give him. That he's looking at 1-year deals instead of like multi-year deals. You know what I mean? So if Kyrie can do that, I mean, I don't know what the number is. You know what I mean? I would if it was my team, dude. If you don't play 55 games, man, like why would you think about out of 82 games? That's bare minimum. If you're not gonna play all 82, I mean, if you're not gonna play at least, you know what I'm saying, a third of the 3/4 of the games, dude. Like, dude, why would we max level talent or not? Why would we continue to pay? You know what I'm saying? Or have you around? So the net, quote unquote, guys, the Kevin Durant gonna pull that lever about getting traded out because Kyrie's gonna stay now. So they have to, like Brandon, I already said it, dude. Like they put together this window of opportunities for themselves, player power movement, and more power to them. But they like what I'm saying, you when you do this AAU style of basketball, the pressure's on you to win. And right now, Brooklyn Nets are no close to winning than you or I are close to winning an NBA championship. So he's back. So, you know what I'm saying, at least you have that going for you, but you got to get the production back on the floor. So that's going to be the challenge.
If you're an organization, can you trust going after a Kyrie that maybe plays half the season to give him all that money as another organization? Could you trust it?
Would another organization, are you asking, would another organization trade in February if it's not going, if it's not going right for the Brooklyn Nets and it's like they're looking like a 7th or 8th or 9th seed, or my goodness, back into the play-in scenario, could a team want to trade for Kyrie? I think a team does. I think sometimes NBA teams will get desperate enough. It'll be a playoff team, which would be scary, considering what they're going to move. It's not going to be some of his other places that he stopped by. It's not going to be Cleveland. It's not going to be Boston. Let's just be honest. They've already seen enough. But would another team pick up his contract for the rest of the half of the year in hopes of potentially having Kyrie to put them over the hump? Oh yeah, absolutely. That can for sure happen.
Are we about to see the most honorable and ethical tank job that the NBA has ever put on by the San Antonio Spurs?
Man, you are so hard on the Spurs, man.
That's not hard on them, but I mean, they're clearly going to tank mode.
What is it? I've never been to San Antonio. I've always been told
big women.
Coach Artist that it was a I'm not gonna say that. You better recant it.
That's what Chuck says.
It's all. I know that's what Barkley says. But
down there on that Riverwalk.
Anyway, I've always been told the Riverwalk is quite a beautiful place. You know what I'm saying, to live at. You know what I mean? But it's like we get into like NBA purgatory where guys don't want to be there over the long haul of time. It might be also somewhat of the fact that Coach Popovich, you know what I'm saying, he's the one that runs the organization, both from I do believe from a general manager standpoint and a coach standpoint. Right. So yeah, man, that trade kind of took me out of like nowhere. I was like, what, DeJounte Murray? I thought they were just kind of like waiting on another piece in San Antonio, to be honest with you. Like, it's hard, obviously it's hard to, you know what I'm saying, attract top level free agents there for, you know what I'm saying, for the reasons I kind of mentioned. Some basketball guys think it's basketball purgatory. It's not necessarily Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Even though the championships have flown through San Antonio, guys just aren't necessarily running there, you know what I'm saying, when they have other options, when you have, like, you know what I'm saying, the California teams and the Florida teams to kind of flock to. So, like, no, man, like, yeah, they have to, like, so if you're going to trade your star player, and that's what DeJounte Murray is, you better get, you know what I'm saying, protected on the back end. And, like, what did they trade for? They trade for, like, 3 first-rounders, something sick, and an expiring contract.
Gallinari,
that's a hell of a deal. But yes, next year and then the following couple years, man, they will be in tank mode for sure.
Yeah, this might be. Like I said, it's gonna be the most ethical tank mode ever since 2016. And I sent you a text earlier. Well, let me bring it back up again here. Let's see here. Computer. Since 2016, when Tim Duncan retired, they've traded Kawhi Leonard. Ginobili's retired. They lost Tony Parker in free agency. They cut LaMarcus Aldridge. They've traded DeMar DeRozan, and they've traded Devontae Murray. So, and you've taken on you take on Gallinari. So that equals tank to me. And it's just weird you're taking towards the end of Coach Pop's tenure, you would believe, right? You wouldn't think he had very many years left.
Right. So you think, so you put it out there in the air, Brandon. You think this is his last run?
I do.
As the coach.
Yes.
I don't think he ever stays. I don't think he ever goes away from basketball. I really don't. We think this is his last year as a run as a coach.
Yep.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. You know, the guys he was in the trenches with are coaches their damn selves.
Even be it right here this next season. That might be the last one. So he may not even get to a rebuild. It may just be this one right here. This next season, that's it.
This one right here. And then push up somebody from his family tree.
Yep.
To take over
and say, hey, you've got yourself a top 3 draft pick next year. Here you go. They take the dude from Italy or whatever he's from, France.
Who's going to be a top draft pick next year? Somebody from Duke. Bet you $5.
I bet you it's not. I bet you it's going to be that dude that's over in France right now.
It might be. For San Antonio, you might be right, man, because they might have to look at. I know it's crazy. They might have to look at whoever the most elite non-American player is, because sometimes with the European fellas, they don't really care about living a certain somewhere as long as they can ball. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal if it's there in Miami or LA. So that'd be interesting to see.
John Wall gets his buyout from the Houston Rockets, and report is when free agency starts on Thursday, tomorrow night, he'll be joining the Clippers with Kawhi and PG.
So I'm gonna turn the camera the other way, man. What do you think about that, man? Because I remember a couple episodes ago, you had this thought in your mind because Paul George and Kawhi were so much in and out of the lineup, right, this year. You really didn't get to see the best version of the Clippers. They have good to borderline great role players, right? And they were right there knocking on the door. You don't think John Wall is just coming there not to muck it up, right? That's what you know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily something to put them over.
I think it gets them at a 6 seed and keeps them at that.
What I'm trying to say, I guess, what I thought you were like, so if Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are 100% healthy and play, let's say, 120 games between them, so that's 60 games.
Yep.
You still think 100% Paul George and Kawhi Leonard only 6 in the East? I'm sorry, 6 in the West, or?
It probably puts them at 4. Let's think about it.
Okay.
Golden State, they're ahead of them.
Right, sure.
Phoenix.
Phoenix ain't going nowhere, right?
Yeah, Phoenix will be up there. Phoenix will have some regression next year for sure, especially if they don't keep DeAndre Ayton here in free agency. I think they're going to regress a little bit based off the wins they had,
right?
And they just can't stay healthy, and that's the big thing for them. So you've got them. Lakers. I think the Clippers are probably better than the Lakers. I think this puts them over it, unless the Lakers can get another person.
I just think John Wall got to stay 100% healthy himself.
He set out a whole year. You got to think that's got to keep you healthy, right? Unless he was on the James Harden plan.
Man, I feel like this dude would trip out of bed and get a sprained ankle. So John Wall, if everybody remembers him in Kentucky, and he'd been the number 1 overall draft pick some years ago, man, there was a lot of hype and expectation that kind of came with his abilities in the open court. I don't know if he's still that explosive open court player, but man, if they can get half of that, and and even and resurgence, revitalize Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. I might like them in the West. Look, I would put them in third. Because we never know, the dust is gonna settle right come Friday, or so between tomorrow and Friday when the free agency really kicks off. And depending upon what other levels are happening in Portland, right? So no, like I said, I kind of might like the Clippers in the top three.
Okay, so Suns. I said Suns. I got the Suns over them. How about Memphis?
Are they mature enough yet? Are they really still mature?
No.
I mean, they got all the bodies. They got all the talk. They got the weapons. They don't necessarily have the poise just yet. So, will Memphis win a playoff series? Of course. But when you talk about that upper echelon, Golden State team or somebody, who would have known? Knowing what you know of what the Phoenix Suns were during the regular season, did you think Memphis and then would have been a 6-game series, 7-game series? I say yes, but I feel I would kind of edge Phoenix in that if everything was 100%, everybody was healthy. I would still edge Phoenix, but you're right though. Memphis will still be there. They just got to keep their poise and keep their wits and their emotions about it. But
I think
they should be in the mix. They should be in the mix.
I think they're better than the Jazz team. The Jazz team's in a huge influx right now. We don't know what's going on with that.
Aren't you waiting? I'm waiting for the next shoe to drop. They got a rookie coach off of the ball. Like Danny Ainge is coming in and putting his thumb down, man. He clicked terrible. He picked one of the assistants off the Boston Celtics. Now he's the head coach. Like, man, Brandon is coming. Gobert is gonna get traded. And it remains to be seen what happens with Donovan Mitchell, but I can't say that he stays that much longer either.
Let me ask you this. So we're sitting here talking about the Clippers. If the Dallas Mavericks add Rudy Gobert, or if the Dallas Mavericks add Bradley Beal, does that put them over him? You think?
If they can get both of them, right? If they can get both of them, man. I don't know if they have to add. I mean, okay, but if they can get both of them, one of them is not going to. If one of them should move the needle just a little bit for him. Rudy Gobert is still a defensive force in this league. Rebounds like a terror, blocks like a terror. You can even run some offense at his way. I'm not saying run offense through him. He's not going to get you a one-on-one bucket or anything like that. But lobs and get himself to the free throw line, 3 or 4 times a night. Yeah, Rudy Gobert is a weapon in that regard. Man, you say if they pick the guard, if they go that route, like both of those guys are capable of putting 40 points a game on you. It just kind of like what would Washington? What did that trade look like? What would they have to send back to Washington for who's another team that's actually in flux right now? Right, they making trades today or yesterday. So like, what does that look like to get? I think Dallas goes after Gobert. I think that's the way they run. I don't know. I think our guy up in Washington, Bradley Beal, might be a little too expensive, especially when I think next year you got to show Luka Doncic the bag.
I don't think they're too sad. They're not going to keep Jalen Brunson, and I think the New York Knicks are about to overpay for Jalen Brunson.
Are the Knicks overpaying for? Not based on the market, they're not overpaying for Jalen Brunson. But if they're telling the New York fan base that Jalen Brunson is coming there to be your 1B, then the New York Knicks are going to still suck even more next year. Like, he's 1B. Tell me if I'm right or wrong, Brad. I mean, you've seen he kind of can sometimes run hot and cold.
I have him 1C in New York.
You got him 1C?
I mean, he's behind Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett.
I mean, technically, Brandon, he might be better than. I mean, him and Julius Randle, like, they both had 2 good seasons, man. Now they both kind of cashed out.
Randle's probably going to be gone. he pissed off the fan base. So
I didn't, but Brandon, I thought he would have been gone already. You know what I mean? I was like, man, they got to be working the phones on that. Like he's middle fingering the fans. He's becoming a New York Post every other week, every other day, like comment. They're running with it. I would thought he'd been gone already. But I want to make this be known. Like they need some stability at point guard in New York. Jalen Brunson will bring that. It's just that you can't look at his skill set as a savior. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not. He's gonna play hard. He's gonna buy into the system and the culture that they have in New York. Cause I thought the coach was fired too, but that didn't happen either, which is good. I mean, that means the Knicks are stable in the front office. But yeah, you give him 1C, man. I give him a 2A. But again, man, he will bring stability to the point guard position for the New York Knicks next year. If that's where he signs it.
Per report from South Florida, Miami has zero intentions of trading Kyle Lowry for Kyrie Irving, per Florida Sports Buzz. The Heat has assured Lowry that has no intentions of trading him to Brooklyn, as a source briefed on the situation.
Yeah, that don't mean he ain't getting traded. That means he's not getting traded for Kyrie Irving. I was
They'll trade him for Donovan Mitchell, though, right?
What'd you say now, Brandon?
You would trade him for Donovan Mitchell, though.
You could. You sure could. You come up with a package. I was wrong about Tyler Hero's skill set. I think you might get a little bit more production out of it if he's on another team and he's looked at as being the primary guy, or even I think even here sometimes they kind of overlook him. They do depend upon him to be a quality guy. Come off, he averaged like 20 points off the bench this year. And that's why he was 6 man of the year. But I don't know. I think if they do resign him, it's probably a short term deal. But I wouldn't be surprised if Tyler Hero gets moved. But it won't be a move to bring back a bunch of draft picks. You know what I'm saying? Pat Riley is always in win now mode. So I think Tyler gets his money though. I think Tyler gets his money from Miami though.
I think he does too. Maybe he got over that sophomore slump. We'll see. We got a call real quick. Crossroads Sports Radio. Who's this?
Sometimes I dream. Hey man, how y'all doing, man?
There he is. That's our guy.
Living the Atlanta lifestyle here. Everybody said the Hawks nothing good would ever happen to us. We're first franchise and all this other stuff. And you know what? Everything changed today, baby. I'm talking not 4, not 5. Like, this is a different way of thinking about the Atlanta Hawks, man. ATL stand up. Can't believe it. Trae Young, DeJounte Murray. Man, go get your tickets now. Price is going up. Price of the brick going up. Get your tickets now. Look, Hawks, baby. I'm sorry. I had to get that rant out. What's going on, though?
No, all good. I was hoping you would call after that trade today. Unloading some 3 first-round picks. You had to be ecstatic with what you got for the haul.
Yeah, but that was fan me, like doing that fan out thing. Now, realistically, says DeJounte Murray has had some knee issues. The Spurs actually load managed them last year, and they still, if it was a game 3 or 4 nights, they would kind of sit him from time to time. So when you go all in with a guy like that and you've given up all the picks, this has to work. If it doesn't, this becomes the most, Atlanta move and typical Atlanta. So, the fan in me wants to celebrate, but the realist in me is like, this is dangerous.
Uh-huh. Do you think...
Well, you move... Go ahead, Brandon.
No, I was just saying, do you think that... Is there any hesitation as to why you think the Spurs wanted to move him? I mean, obviously you said the knees, but they wanted to move him. I mean, I told Jonathan earlier, I thought they would keep him as a young piece and kind of build with him, but and then Popovich will go away. But if his Pop swan song is going to be a tank job, it looks like.
Yeah. Well, DeJounte's a little older, so he's kind of not on the same time as the rest of the young pieces they kind of want to build with. I don't think they have anybody who's guaranteed to be on the roster in 2 years. So this is a full rebuild. Now they got the ammo as far as picks. And I really can't knock them for it because the team that they had, I mean, what the ceiling on that is what, an 8th seed? Like, I mean, I don't know. I really can't knock the Spurs for this. The offer was too good to pass up. So they basically turned down getting John Collins to take Gallinari for the extra pick. So that lets you know where their mind is. Straight rebuild.
Go ahead, John.
Okay. So what does that look like? So that, I mean, from a talent standpoint, that does improve DeJounte Murray and our end.
Hello?
I think we lost
It
John.
keeps cutting out. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
my
I think
headphones.
I think we lost him for a minute. He'll probably call back in here in a second. What other moves are you feeling? Let's talk Hawks real quick. Hawks B-ball. What other moves do we feel like with this roster? I mean, to get the Hawks back up there into that top 4 seed area, because you're obviously going to have a revitalized Milwaukee Bucks. Brooklyn, God, you don't know what you're going to end up getting with Brooklyn this year. Boston will end up being up there. Is there any additional piece you see the Hawks need to put onto this roster to get them back up in that top 4 echelon?
Yeah, see, that's where it gets tough, though, because the Atlanta Hawks traditionally haven't spent money like that. So this move, I think Roland from Hawks on Sports, I think he reported earlier that this actually puts them over the tax threshold. So the Hawks are probably more likely to dump salary and get under than they are to take on more. So John Collins and Capella, I think they're just beating the phones up and trying to see what's the best deal for either one of them. But I would expect one or both of them to be gone.
Okay. And yeah, I know you kept trying to unload John Collins up here to Indiana, and we didn't take the bait yet. So, our general manager just came out. The second one, Chad Buchanan, just came out yesterday and said we are not actively trading Miles Turner or actively trading Malcolm Brogdon, which makes 0 sense, especially with the makeup of this roster currently right now.
True.
So, John, you're back.
Unless, the young foreign big kind of pans out. What's my man's name for the Pacers?
Which one?
I can't think of his name. The young foreign guy. What's his name?
Oh,
the foreign big.
Goga Batati?
Goga?
Yeah, Batati. Yeah, unless he pans out.
You can have him. We don't want him. John, you got cut off, my man. What were you saying?
Goga will not be playing here.
Yeah, I know there's some problems defensively, but that dude will offensive rebound. You got to give him that. He might not pass, he might not defend, but he will offensive rebound.
They might get him back down there to Dallas. I can see it happen.
All right, John, what were you saying before you got cut off?
We got the best piece of the offseason so far. I think the Knicks are making a tremendous mistake putting so much into Jalen Brunson. Not that I think Jalen Brunson isn't a good player, but just what you have to overpay for him. I think the Knicks will be in the same situation they were when they were trying to offload Tim Hardaway, where it's just like, he's pretty good, but we paid a haul for him, and that just ain't gonna get it.
Now, I really don't understand the Knicks. I kind of understand what they want to do, but like they traded pick out of pick 11. And they had 2 picks in the first round, I do believe. I'm like, and then you just traded back for nothing because you want to potentially go after somebody else's free agent, man. I don't know. It sounds very Dallas Cowboyish.
That's Worldwide West.
Back in the 90s. Well, I mean, usually a move like this was like, okay, we bring this guy on to push us over, and he's just there to improve the room, which is fine too, but. If that goes down, I mean, Dallas still could, invest money in him, and then he won't. The Knicks is going to be looking even terrible because they traded away their 2 first rounders, and you still need to get better. I don't know. The price tag is a little bit too much. Like our caller, like Miles said, the price tag is a little bit too much to do. You might want to move heaven and earth for a top 10 guy. But, saying no disrespect to his skill set, he's not a top 10 guy.
I'm with you.
Okay.
Well, I know y'all gotta roll through the show, man. Just wanted to weigh in real quick, but I apologize for the Chet Holmgren bet if you guys laid money down on that one. Yes, I did.
Oh, yeah.
They
I
drafted
thought about
Chet
you when that happened, man. I thought about you when he went number 2. I said, oh, well, there goes the Chet Holmgren money.
Right. I was tearing up my digital tickets in my hands. I wish we went back to the 80s where I could have the physical tickets so I could tear it up and make you feel better about losing when you tear up the ticket. But yeah, man, y'all be cool, man. Good talk with y'all. I'm going to hang back and listen, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks,
All right.
Nas.
Thanks for calling in.
All right.
All right. Always great to have him on. I was hoping he was going to call after we talked the Atlanta Hawks trade. I instantly thought of him. I wanted to hear his reaction for it. So, but you do like that because typically, John, when you get the callers, it's more of the fan. You don't think of the GM hat on with injuries and things like that. So It's kind of good to hear both perspectives there with that.
Right.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Would you ever turn down $47.3 million?
Never. That's crazy, man.
You know who doesn't turn that down?
James Harden.
What, Russell
James
Westbrook?
Harden turned down the money.
Russell Westbrook. So Westbrook goes back to the Lakers. He accepts his option. Harden says, nah, 47 mil. I understand why. Obviously, they want to get more of a cap-friendly deal, and apparently Harden's ready to win a ring. That's the only mantra I think out of that, John, I get is Harden says, hey, let's get some pieces in here. I guess it's time for me to try to win a ring, and hopefully it's not the Fruit Loops, but it's a real ring. He doesn't go back into Slim Harden mode.
So you think he resigns back with Philadelphia?
I do. Yep. I think it's a very, very nice cap-friendly deal for them for maybe 1 or 2 years. When the cap hits big again, then he'll cash in on that huge one that nobody will want to pick him up on.
Right. I think so too. Maybe it's a 2-year deal where it averages out to like $89 million or something like that. It's guaranteed money. No, somebody's gonna look at it like, well, he signed for less money per year, but he's at least the 90 guaranteed. It could potentially be something like that. But I can't see nobody paying him a 5-year deal. That's not gonna happen.
How many years do you think he's got left in the league, realistically?
James Harden, if he commits to a workout regimen and really trims up and gets back to like what he looked like and what he played like in Oklahoma, and I know, you know what I'm saying, that was far beyond the, you know what I'm saying, but hell, think about it, we're not too far removed from when he was MVP in Houston. So somewhere in between there is where, you know, in a dedication to basketball. Not just, I mean, dedication to basketball happens off the court. It too. I mean, if Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and all the other NBA greats have you know what I'm saying, have kind of told us, like, dude, you want to, once you're in championship mode, it's not just, you know, October through June. It's a year-round thing. So that's what James Harden's gonna have to commit to. I don't know, Brandon. He's kind of long in the tooth, man. You know, they can't go to what's the old phrase? Can't teach the old dog new tricks. But no, man, that's what it would take for him. You know what I'm saying? A total, you know what I'm saying, just a 180. Work on your body, work on your mind, you know what I'm saying? Cut out, you know what I'm saying, the nightlife and, you know what I'm saying, anything else that's going to, you know what I'm saying, involve you being the best basketball player that you could be.
Report out that the Miami Heat, or get the music ready, the Miami Heat are expressing interest in Mo Bamba. So if you want to get the song Mo Bamba ready for South Beach, they're expressing interest in bringing him in after.
Brandon, you laugh at that. And if you look at it, you know, you look at the Orlando Magic like I look at them, and they're just daggone glorified G League team. You know what I'm saying? He's done this, 5 years or 6 years now, I think, on the G League team. Now it's time for him to step up and, you know what I'm saying, and show improvement, see if he can be a real basketball player. Because if he signs with the Heat, like, there ain't no days off. Like, they're going to expect, you know what I'm saying, all that we expected him when he came out of college, you know what I'm saying, and hell, he had a rap song, not his rap song, but a rap song named after him. Before he got to the NBA. So he's joining the Heat, man. Dude, watch out. They're going to be more athletic on the front end.
Are the Lakers stuck with Westbrook? Because nobody's going to want to trade for that, right? Accept a trade for that type of contract?
What is real money, Brandon? In the NBA.
Oh.
When you see when you see guys go, Zubac got $33 million for like 2 years or 3 years. That's only $10 million. But Zubac, come on, $10 million for that, I guess, man.
Well, I learned that immediately when the Memphis Grizzlies are still paying Chandler Parsons' contract.
Are they? I thought that eventually kind of ran out, but yeah. So
they are Memphis.
Money,
I had Memphis fans get at me on Twitter about it. I put it on Twitter. I said, "Is Memphis still paying Chandler Parsons?" I had like 15 Grizzly fans reach back out to me regarding it. They're still a little sour with it.
They're still sour, man. Chandler Parsons was supposed to take that team over, man, and you know, what I'm saying he got there, signed, and you know that wasn't the case, man. He got injured, stayed injured, you know. So now, man, Russ probably, if Russ doesn't get traded sometime crazily tomorrow during free agency, Russ probably doesn't make it past February during the trade deadline in 2023.
Well, who would take that on, though, John? I mean, that contract. I mean, it's 1 year deal.
But by that time, though, Brandon, half the contract is already paid off of. You know what I'm saying? Back in February.
Yeah.
If you do it in February, half the contract is already kind of paid off for. So, you know, somebody needs to be getting Russ because they need backcourt help. Or, like I said, like you're getting an expired contract that you don't have to, you know what I'm saying, that you don't have to fulfill. It comes off your books at the end of the year.
With free agency starting here tomorrow night, and we've seen kind of what teams have done and what teams are doing now, what moves do the Milwaukee Bucks have to do to get themselves back up there to be that Eastern Conference / NBA Finals participant?
Who did you say? You said the Milwaukee Bucks?
Yes.
Is a healthy Chris Middleton. That would be the first step. I don't know. I can't recall. I don't have it in front of me if Grayson Allen is a free agent or not. But the first rule of business would be, you know what I'm saying, would be getting Chris Middleton 100% back out there. And then you can kind of check the other boxes from there on out. Are they going to go after another free agent to absorb? Probably not, because, you know, since they're a middle road pack kind of team. But like I said, healthy Chris Middleton, they might do some tweaks. You know what I'm saying? In the back, it won't be anything major.
Right.
It'll be some vet that's been around, who's, you know what I'm saying, it's been around for a long time, been around with a couple teams that you know what I'm saying, that just kind of looking for a championship run that'll get absorbed into that culture. But no, I don't foresee them moving anybody, you know what I'm saying, major, or bringing anybody major. They just need to get 100% healthy.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 6. I'm counting something. I thought I was looking at Ish Smith. You know, Ish Smith might be leading the league in number of teams he's played for.
Do we still count that? Is that what are we up to?
Well, we got Memphis, Orlando, Thunder, Rockets, Wizards, Pistons. Wizards again, came back for the Wizards, and then now he's in Denver now. So what's your thoughts of that? Denver now, obviously they got Jamal Murray back. Now they're getting Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. You get
right.
Will Barton goes away.
Guys, at one point, the Pacers kind of won and thought about
it,
became free agents.
I tried to talk Will Barton into existence with Indiana so many years.
Right.
So many years.
Right. Brandon, you know, Denver's probably right there at that max. I don't have everybody's salary cap in front of me. There's a lot of money that they have out. They gave Will Barton money, right?
They did.
The free agency period. They gave the other guy during the bubble when he balled out. Or it was after the bubble. He balled out. He balled out of the bubble, and then he balled out when Jamal Murray got injured. He stepped up. You know what I'm saying? Morris did, but they this kind of suggests that Jamal Murray's is back to ready to kind of just take over things, be, you know what I'm saying, 100% out there and like a backup, a high paid backup is not necessarily what they need right now. Not, you know what I'm saying, as far as like I said, as far as like backup point guard, right? Caldwell Pope is a better shooter than Will Barton is, so you have that to kind of look at. As far as athletically, defensively, I think Will Barton's probably a bit better. It's not like you lose too much with Caldwell Pope either on the defensive end, but he is a better shooter. So it's a space. It's space and cost. So Caldwell Pope spaces the floor better than Will Barton, but his contract is a little bit less, I think, than Will Barton. I think there's more years on Will Barton on Will Barton's deal, right? So it's kind of like I said, Brandon. Denver had to cut, salary. And then it's time for, whether if they are even 89%, some of the other guys out there with Jokic, the all-star talents they had, whether it's Jamal Murray or Porter Jr., like they have to, if they can play, and I remember like during the tail end part of the year, last year, that they thought they were going to be able to come back for the playoffs, and it kind of fizzled out or whatever. But I think this kind of suggests that the Denver Brass think that they're going to be heavy rotation players for them coming to the next season.
I mean, I feel like you have to put a future on the Denver Nuggets to win the NBA title just because Kroenke owns the Rams. They win. Kroenke owns the Avs. They win Stanley Cup. I mean, I feel like you got to put it now on the Nuggets since he owns them as well, right? And let me ask you your comments on Draymond calling it the Warriors Invitational. Everybody's just coming to try to be participants in the Warriors Invitational. There's a lot of people that are pissed. He's pissed off a lot of people apparently the last week in the media.
Yeah, between him and between him and Kendrick Perkins, which got out of hand on both of their ends. Draymond calling it the Warriors Invitational. Again, dude, y'all just got back into the championship fold. So, and again, like I have to remind everybody, unless Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins are well compensated for their abilities and what they brought to the championships, to the playoff runs. Like, man, this ain't necessarily the Warriors Invitational just yet. I just started liking some of the answers, some things that said are over the top, right? But it's not like it's not like as the NBA fans we've seen over the top before. We've seen Dennis Rodman, we've seen Bill Lambert, we've seen over the top comments before. So I like Draymond in this regard, that he plays hard. He does a lot of things good. He doesn't do a lot of things great. He rebounds good. He's he's a good defender. If you depend upon getting at least 10 points, he might be able to get you 10, and he's definitely an excellent passer. So, but like, nah, man, it's to the winners and spoils, man. Once you raise the trophy, dude, you'll be, you get a little cocky. So that's just Draymond being cocky, and of course he gets, blasted because of his own personal podcast, his own strong opinions. But like, nah, man, that's just him getting blasted now. It's dead. Now next year, you are putting a bigger target on your back now. And like, I think teams are definitely going to be coming for the Warriors, because I'm not saying they look beatable or unbeatable in that regard, but like, yeah, teams are going to be coming for you. And it's like Draymond, you're going to have to back up, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I heard that, but to me, it's just Draymond being Draymond, and it is what it is with that. Imani Bates, you leave Memphis and you choose Eastern Michigan back home? Is he already a bust, John?
Yeah. No, man, it's not that he's a bust, man. It's the fact that the 15-year-old kid that we thought was going to be the next Kevin Durant and was doing these amazing things at one of the AE tournaments here in the Circle City, man. Like, it just hasn't necessarily transpired. He's definitely a college level Division I basketball player. Can he play team basketball? He played with some other elites in Memphis. Memphis is kind of real tight-lipped about it. About his experience. It's kind of good in this regard, Brandon. They haven't. Like, they haven't said, well, or nothing has been reported, to the masses that Imani Bates was a malcontent. Well, I take that back. There was some pouting, but there was nothing like, but we can't there was nothing agreed. He was complaining about playing time. Well, when you play with other McDonald's All-Americans, it kind of goes through the hot hand, kind of goes through, who is, not necessarily the biggest kid anymore. It's just who's the most skilled. So you kind of have the impression that he doesn't like to be challenged just a little bit. You know, this kind of why he kind of ran away from, you know what I'm saying, what Penny Hardaway and that coach staff was kind of putting on him, man. So I thought he would automatically get absorbed. I didn't think it would be this long, and then I didn't necessarily think it would be again. No shade to Eastern Michigan, they're one of the top programs, you know what I'm saying, in the MAC. But I didn't necessarily think, you know what I'm saying, that he'd end up at a MAC school. So we'll see what he can do at Eastern Michigan. Like I said, it is some surprise. His goal in his mind, he wants to go to the NBA. So. Right. He'll get plenty of opportunities to jack up shots and showcase his skills in Eastern Michigan. That's the darn sure. I mean, because he's probably. I'm gonna have the roster from. He's probably the lone McDonald's All-American that they have. Right. So kudos to him. But like, dude, if you can't get it done in Eastern Michigan, man, you ain't gonna get it done nowhere.
Right. Take a call real quick. D-Cop, what's going on?
What's up, fellas? Hey, I just chimed in. I was listening to you guys talk about Monty Bates. Here's the take on him, right? So in Memphis, he had those issues that the five-star guys have, right? That ego deal. Well, he's from that area in Michigan, man. So this isn't some big swing that I think is out there. I think the guy either going to be a player and show he's a player, or he's going to be Felipe Lopez. It's one or the other. It won't be anything in between. Either he's that guy or he's not. But I don't think it's a big hit on him to go back home at all. I really don't, man. Because Memphis, if you ever been to Memphis is not. Yeah, I understand the conference they're in, but Memphis isn't than it used to be when the Keith Lees of the world was there, and hell, even when Calipari was there. They're not the same. I understand Penny Hardaway is there. However, he's kind of taken a big dip over the last couple of years. So. I don't think it's a big hit on the Monty Bates at all. I wish him well. And I think if he's a player, we'll see his first year or what he's made of. So that's my take on the Monty Bates. I had a conversation in one of my sports chats about him earlier today. That's why it was interesting that you all are talking about it. So are people giving him a lot of hell for going back home, or where we stand on that?
No, I think it's just the fact that, you know, the guy first committed to Michigan State, and then he pulled that, and then he went to Memphis, and there was issues there, and he got injured, only played half the games. Yeah, maybe he wanted to go back home. Maybe it's a little bit easier for him. I also just think he may have been getting some bad advice in his ear.
Yeah, it was very possible, you know, but his father's going to be even a bigger deal with him over there at that school now, because obviously his dad has ties there. So that could have been why he chose that particular school, right? So it's going to be interesting to see. But I hope the young man well. I mean, he's 19 years old, man. Think about the mistakes and challenges we made when we were 19. So I think he'll be okay. But enough about a kid that won't be paying for Pacers. Let's talk Pacers basketball. Let's talk about what we're John. What's his name for Atlanta, and also let's talk about opportunity for my big man in Phoenix, DeAndre Ayton, on a trade potentially with Miles Turner or some combination of that. I still say we got moves to make, and Brogdon hopefully his back still back.
Okay, John.
That Brogdon move, his bag's got to be packed, man. They just got to figure out a deal. That's what I believe. They just got to figure out a deal where they don't get taken advantage of. Malcolm Brogdon, when he plays, I would say elite. You know what I'm saying? He can score the ball, he can pass the ball. You know, defense is optional, but you know, it's definitely a defense optional league, right? But offensively, he can play both guard positions and playing very well. That being said, we do know his attitude about playing hurt or you know what I'm saying, a little bum, boo-boo, knee, whatever the case may be. You know, he's going to sit down. So there's probably just to make sure that he doesn't get bent over, for lack of a term.
Right. Well, we'll see what happens there. And then my last thing is on the Bradley Beal deal, man. There's no way Bradley Beal is an impact player in year 3, 4, and 5 of a 5-year max deal. The guy is a very good player. He's only been a very good player, in my opinion, in his career. And someone said Washington has to pay him. Washington better than 4th place in the East in the last 26 years. Why do they pay him? He's not a difference-making player. He's a nice piece. But that team is full of good to decent players, and that's it. So I think it's a huge mistake, Washington Wizards paying him a 5-year, $248 million deal. I just think the return on the investment is going to be John Wall-esque. Remember that. That's the same team that did the John Wall deal. Let's not let that be forgotten on this whole take.
Right. I really don't have a quote on what Bradley Beal's going to do. He could be the leader of that. He could get maxed out $140 million over 4 seasons, something like that. And he's gonna be the leader of that. He's gonna be looked upon as leader in the franchise. You know, in the face of that franchise. But like, dude, like you bring up a good point. He's been that, and they still come up 11th or 12th in the East. So. What do you do? What do you do? Do you really want to invest? Do you really want to invest that much, or do you just trade off? At some point, I think he. Go ahead.
No, I was saying. What I think they're going to do is sign him so they can say, "Look, we signed our best player." That doesn't mean anything to today's guys. These guys are well versed on what's going on, and they looked at Washington. They see what Washington is, and they see that they aren't an impact or a threat in the East or even in their division. So them signing him and say, hey, listen, look what we did. But no one's impressed with what you did because there's not a destination and you're mired in mediocrity anyway. So I just think I think he's, and I'm not saying, get him out of Washington and let him go somewhere and win a championship. No, I'm not saying at all. He's just a good player. He's a very good player. But he's not as good as he was 3 years ago. And he's on the decline from an impact standpoint. I'm talking about from an impact. So I just think it'll be a huge mistake unless you package something with it and, you put, 2 or 3 very, very good guys around him. But other than that, Washington's going to be, 41-41 next year. And we'll see what happens.
Okay.
I didn't want to take up a much of you guys' time. But
no, you're good.
Good.
What else you got, D-Kai? I know you're chomping at the bit. We got SEC football. What?
No, man. No, I'm not chomping at the bit right now. This is June, man. There's some stuff going on behind the scenes from a recruiting standpoint that's going on in the SEC. A lot of guys money's being tossed around, and Texas coming there with Arch Manning, being the guy. Going to Texas. I know everybody's hyped up about him being the top overall player in the 2023 class. That's fine. Yep. He's not the best quarterback in that class. He's not. And so he's not. The kid from Tennessee, and I can't think of his name, he just signed a $9 million deal for NIL. Him, that's and I'm not going to say the school because I don't want Brandon to do the do. That guy that plays for that school in the middle of this wonderful state next to Mississippi, the quarterback there for 2020, 11 tape, and look at the talk of the 11 on 11. He's heading the charts there. The kid from Tennessee left because he didn't have anything to prove. He left right after he signed that deal, by the way. Just so you guys know that. So Arch Manning's going to be a very good player, I think. Very good player. He's just not the best quarterback in 2023. He's not.
I gotta ask both of you why I got y'all on. Because you both of y'all are high on Bronny James than I am. Y'all, you really think Bronny James is going to get drafted?
I don't know. If he keeps slipping,
I think he'll get drafted because of his name.
Yeah, he'll get drafted. I think he'll just be early second round.
That's all. That's it.
If I'm the Pacers, I do it.
I think that's where it stops. I think it stops where he'll get drafted. He'll be a G League guy. Who he'll remind you of? He'll remind you of Dominique Wilkins' nephew.
Gerald?
The Wisconsin State. Yeah, well, it was because he had a couple T in the NBA. Listen, he had a couple T in the NBA a couple different times, but that was because of his name.
He played for the Patriots too.
He did.
I know for like a half a season. I remember. Yeah. Believe me, I remember. But what I'm saying is he'll be like that. He's not a guy, but he'll get that opportunity over opportunity because of his last name is what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I got kind of like Horace Grandson. Horace Grandson gets a good opportunity.
Yeah, potentially, yeah. But I just the Wilkins kid reminds me because I remember reading a book or an article about Dominic and Gerald taking him to different teams and having him work out for different teams and then being there. Think about this. Dominic and Gerald Wilkins are there to help me out. Come on, man. It's hard to say, well, we won't give him a little bit of a chance. And that's what I'm thinking with the Bronny James thing. Nothing more, nothing less. That's what I really believe.
Is there any?
Go ahead, Brandon.
Is there any truth to the rumors that the Colts are going to start their suck campaign for Arch Manning?
Man, are you gonna ask me Brandon? No, wait, Brandon. You gonna disrespect me and ask me a Colts question? That sucker's not on the call, man. I'm not that dude. I'm sure he's waiting or something or going to call. I don't talk that team downtown. I don't talk about that other than bad things. Who cares? They're going to mismanage him anyway because that's what they do to their, especially with their quarterback.
John, you going to stand for this?
Listen, 5 and 5 years. 5 and 5 years, Jonathan. Come on.
First off, they better not. If the NFL is a win today league, not a win tomorrow league. So they better not be sucking for anybody. If Cooper Manning has Archday somehow falls to them in 2 or 3 seasons, because there's no way he's saying this. So we racing saying he's going to say 3 seasons, right?
Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
The kid, you know that kid? Listen, let me tell you, it just hit me. You know the kid that left Ohio State is there.
Yeah.
Right? He was the #1 guy 2 years ago.
He ran away from greatness.
Listen, you heard it here first. You heard it here. Here's the thing. He can't go again without sitting out a year, though. He can't leave again without sitting out again. Yeah. So I'm telling you now, huge mistake on his part going to Texas. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know that Arch Manning is better than him and that Arch Manning is better than him. I just don't, man. That's going
to mess up a lot of money. That's going to mess up a lot of NFL money for somebody.
Yeah, I'll be watching because of SEC football, but I'm interested because you got the best offensive mind in the SEC in Texas. So I really believe he's going to put the best guy out there. But you got to understand, when Peyton Manning and Cooper and Grandpa and Eli walking there, there's a lot of pressure. The difference is, though, man.
Well, that's why that's why he didn't go to SEC school. They're going to the SEC, and I guess during his time there, at some point they will shift. I think Texas and Oklahoma are scheduled to go over in 2024. It's either 2024 or 2025. But so they're scheduled to go over and join the SEC. So he'll be there, right? Because like I said, he's not leaving after 3 seasons or so. And the real kind of question though, because will Texas be able to, you know what I'm saying, pull their program up to the level of the top flight SEC schools when they get shifted over? I know you don't care. I'm just saying.
No. I believe the answer is yes. I'm gonna tell you why. Because money talks and BS walks. Texas has the most money and a much bigger cachet than A&M. People talk about the A&M money.
You say Alabama? They're not gonna out-recruit Alabama.
Oh, I don't use that 7-letter word because I don't want Brandon mocking me. Okay, I'm not using that word. I see you, Brandon.
Roll Tide.
Texas has the cachet that A&M doesn't. They got very similar money, but I think Texas is gonna overtake A&M. And I think, listen, this is Jimbo's 5th year, and just as they said on the Paul Feinbaum show today, hey man, this is the year. They said this is the last 5 years.
No, right. They said that last 5 years.
Yeah, they said about Georgia too.
They said that about Georgia too, and Georgia finally broke on through the other side
They did.
Winning the
which was
SEC,
good.
yeah, winning the SEC is going to be real hard. You got to understand LSU is going to take a step up. Brian Kelly didn't come there. I know you don't have no love for Brian Kelly, but Brian Kelly didn't come there to lose. What they did, they blew it up in Florida again. They got a new coach staff there. You know, then that guy, I'm not saying that guy is ready to take on. Look at Nick Saban dead in the eye, or even Sarkisian when Texas comes over. But again, you know, saying those are the top teams that's still going to be chomping at the bit. And yeah, you know, I'm saying playing for number 2 because the top 2. It seems like, I mean, you know, as much as I hate, I'm not gonna say hate, as much as my fan hate is for the SEC, the money, the championships flow through Alabama and LSU.
Georgia.
I get Georgia one. I get Georgia one, but like, you know, me and Brandon have been doing this show for a while, and we was like, man, Georgia never. I'm not betting on Georgia. You know what I mean? But like,
because of the history, right? Yeah. But once you break through, think about what New England did. Remember? So when they won their first title against the Rams, now they had been in previous Super Bowls, right? You remember, right? And they got thumped. Right. So now when you break through, then all of a sudden now you say, goodness gracious, what does Georgia have? And Georgia is loaded coming back. They're not the Georgia of last year, and they won't have the defense, right? And I'm telling you, they still got to find the quarterback. They can say what they want. They still got to find the quarterback. And they don't have a championship quarterback, and they definitely don't have a championship defense right now. So now mind you, they can get better at it. Right. We all know that, right? But right now, from a SEC standpoint, it's still Alabama. It's still Georgia and that team next to Mississippi. But I believe though that team next to Mississippi has a little bit of an edge because they've got the quarterback and they've got the best defensive player in the SEC. That's why I think your edge is right there.
Okay, both of you put your think caps on. So wouldn't it behoove Texas, as I trust Oklahoma a little bit better, wouldn't it behoove them that they need to win they need to win the Big 12 championship in order to help them with recruiting once they move over?
Absolutely.
Is that a dumb thing?
It's more important for them to win the Big 12 before they leave than it is for Oklahoma to win the Big 12 before they leave.
I don't know, man. That with NIL money, I think it's a different dynamic. I understand the recruiting, and that team next to Mississippi got 2 nice recruits today. But I just don't know that the recruiting is the same impact as it was 2 years ago. Because money talks, and that team next to Mississippi doesn't have the money that Texas A&M.
Well, money, right? They got money talks, but also, you know what I'm saying? When Nick Saban says, "Yo," and he does, they all do it now. They remember a couple years ago, we all used to laugh at Calipari. I did when he said, "Oh, I didn't win that championship, but I got 6 of my guys in the NBA draft." Right?
Yeah.
Well, Alabama, I can say Alabama without getting, you know what I'm saying, without mocks, right? But
you know what's coming.
Alabama does the same thing. Oh, we got X amount of players. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I mean? And then Georgia did it too. You know? So, like, you're right.
Especially this year.
Getting the best, especially this year. Getting the right players, getting the best players right, NIL money, passing that around is one thing. But they also, I would say it's a little bit different. Well, no, not different. I'm saying the same. Developmental. Like, where can you, just playing for Alabama, get me, or Georgia too. You know, I'm be fair, not just got to keep on, because Paul Feinbaum does enough of Alabama kissing ass.
Don't forget LSU. Don't forget LSU.
But but those teams those teams got players like littered all throughout the league at important positions. You know what I mean? So I think that also kind of plays I mean, money does talk. Like the longest money.
But you know, with Jonathan, I think it plays a part. Absolutely. But we haven't seen the impact or the domino effect of what NIL will have on recruiting yet. Remind you, this is year 2. So I still think we got some time to see what really is going to happen with regard to NIL, how it correlates with recruiting, especially if they make those changes they talked about, right?
Okay.
If they make those changes, it's going to be interesting. But I look forward to it, man. It's going to be crazy because obviously they call it the Wild Wild West, right? I think there's a little bit of the Wild Wild West going on.
Deacon, I'm supposed to ask you a question.
Oh, here we go.
And I'm told I need to get a truthful answer out of you on this. Do you
always, man. You're gonna always do.
Can the Alabama Crimson Tide team that we have constructed right now, can they go out there and beat the Colts?
No, man. There's no college football team that can beat any NFL team, period. So when those fuckers and those fools say that, I laugh wholeheartedly. Because think about this. You got 3/4 of that college team that won't even play in the NBA, in the NFL. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
3/4 of them won't play because you're talking about 95 players. So even on their best year, 15 are going to go to the league. Come on, man. There's no chance.
Okay.
There's no chance.
I told him I would ask.
You hear these guys say it. You hear these guys say it all the time, and it baffles me, man. Because like they watch ESPN, they watch these talk shows, the shows where they say, well, one guy takes one side, one guy takes another side. They don't know. They don't pay attention. They just look at the shows. So yeah, big picture wise, no, not even a chance.
Okay.
It wouldn't be close.
Okay.
Easily 30-point win, probably 40-point win, easily.
All right. Anything else
now,
you got?
If you took a all-star college team and you took all the top players at the position in college, now you're only talking about 4 touchdowns.
Wasn't that Alabama?
I just don't believe it's him.
Isn't that
Even
Alabama?
Buffalo? I'm picking on Buffalo.
I know, right? No, Buffalo, hey, they got the business, man. But no, man, listen, we got to watch these Pacers. You got to keep posting about the Pacers stuff, man, because I just got a feeling within the next 7 to 10 days, there's going to be some real big things happening with regard to Malcolm. I think both TJs need to go away, by the way. I think I'm okay with both TJs going. I'm okay with Malcolm going. And if we can get DeAndre Ayton and Turner's gone, I'm good with that, too, by the way. I'm very good with that. And by the way, last thing, I love the rookie's comment about Bron have to prove to him that he's the great player.
That's the stupidest thing ever.
I'm gonna tell you why. It's simple. If you go into the league thinking that somebody else is better than you, you've already lost. And Bron Bron keeps talking about clout chasing. What is he doing on those videos with his shirt off doing workouts? Isn't that clout chasing?
No, that ain't clout chasing. That's getting ready for season 19 or whatever it is.
Oh, okay. So why do you got to show it then? Why do you have to show? Why do you have to show it? It's the same thing, man. He's
the
talking.
GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
Well, no. So when he falls on the ground, when a 5'11" guy puts his elbow on him, what does that mean?
It puts him off balance. He's off balance.
I'm just not.
He's saying
I'm not
ready.
drinking that Kool-Aid, man. I'm not. I don't.
LeBron
care,
is saying he's ready. You seen the jumper?
Hey, here's my question.
Okay,
You seen the work?
Did you see the misses? Did you see the misses?
You
Neither
think
did I.
you
They
think
ended
he
the
spent any
last
time? You think I love my Pacers, but you think LeBron spent any time worried about what this damn rookie said? He told the rookie, get in line. Get in line.
He spoke to it. Listen, let me tell you something, Brandon. If you don't and this is a great point here. If I'm not worried about it, you don't hear me talk about it. If I don't have a say, then you don't hear me talk about it. You don't hear me come here talking about golf, tennis.
Well, you're.
I guarantee you, LeBron
hey,
plays
you know who else called out your boy? You know who else called out LeBron back in the day?
Who?
Who did?
The guy that you called Yellowtail and turned his back on this organization, Paul George. I mean, he just did the same thing.
Who?
Called out.
He called out the king.
You know I'm not a Paul George fan, right? You know I'm not a Paul George fan, right?
I'm just saying.
You realize that, right? You talked to the wrong guy. I wanted him gone 2 years in before he left. I was at the game when they played Atlanta when he quit on the face.
Brandon, he don't like Paul George. He don't like Frank Vogel.
Listen. Ask. You know
he don't like Darren Collins.
Listen. Is he a Pacer fan?
That's my boy. I love Darren Collins. Loved it.
Brad Miller.
Darren Collins.
Okay.
I like Brad Miller. He's pretty
you know who he loves, John? He loves Lance Stevenson. Let's put him on the 12th man on the bench. Let's send him down there by the water boy and the stretch man.
Listen. I promise you this. Whoever the 12th man is for the Pacers this upcoming season, Lance is better.
He's still going to get 0 minutes.
I don't know.
He's better.
Before you called in, man, I hope Lance Stevenson finds a place where he can play and be,
I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna call him tomorrow. I'll let you guys know. I'm gonna see if I can get him on the phone.
All right, let us know.
Get him on the show.
Let us know.
But I'm gonna tell you this. But we'll go back to the PG thing, man. Listen, 2 years prior to him leaving, as me and who would argue in the stands about him quitting on the Pacers.
I wrote an article about it.
Oh.
3 years before it was up. It's on the website.
Well before he left. On what website?
What website? Crossroads Sports. Bring it up. It's on there.
You cut out on me. Listen. I'm at an undisclosed location. I'm in a building right now. And it's shutting out. Yeah, the security. I think the security is cameras watching me, and it's something about a horse. Some horses running around in circles where I'm looking at right now. But that's another story. But my point being is this: love the show, fellas. I'm gonna listen as long as I can until I get my service out, right? But again, try to get who on the line and ask him what I think about your boy PG. Never been a fan.
Absolutely,
never.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, D-Cop.
You gotta be safe. Hey, Jonathan, I'll be messing with you on some stuff. You and Brandon both just hang tight for another hour or so.
All right.
Okay.
All right, that's D-Cop. Hey, John. Man, this dude, does he like a Pacer besides Lance Stevenson? He might be a Lance Stevenson homer.
He's finally turned on Miles Turner.
He has finally turned on him. Crazy. By the way, while we were doing this, Los Angeles Lakers and Miami Heat are expected to be suitors for Blake Griffin. So Blake Griffin experiment is going on again. We'll see where it
Blake Griffin? Oh, my God.
I knew you'd get a kick out of that.
If you got to pick, I saw Blake Griffin at Venice Beach. Like they got this little pickup basketball league, Venice Beach with the hoop bus. I seen Blake Griffin on the hoop bus, man. Again, a lot of athletic ability that they demonstrate on that, But like, if you hoop with the hoop bus, man, your NBA career is done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Your NBA career is done.
We got our other guy.
Blake Griffin gets him to the Clippers.
All right, Reggie Sykes, used to be King of Trolls. He don't troll that much anymore. What's up, Reg?
You know what? I was going to lose my name, King of Trolls, today. I was going to be cordial to that dummy. I was going to tell you that I wasn't going to call him a dummy no more. I wasn't going to call him a stupid A no more. I wasn't going to call him lying to the facts of life. I wasn't going to call him a loser at the
liar.
Whichever been what you're talking about. I wasn't going to call him none of those names. But he's making the King of Trolls come back full force. First of all, something that Take Shot said. You said Alabama and what was the other team you said run the SEC? Or run the championship?
Alabama college football. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Red. Red, I'm sorry. They got Red.
Hold on, sir. When was the last time LSU was? First of all, they're about to get sanctioned a lot because of the things.
When was the last time?
Secondly, Jim Kelly is
when
not
Joe Burrow was there. Did you forget about that?
Hey,
I forgot about Joe Burrow.
How long ago was that? That was 3 years ago. You done forgot about the other team in the ACC that was winning championships. You done forgot about them guys. In the ACC.
Alabama. I'm saying Alabama runs. Alabama
don't run jack. They don't run. Alabama's just mad because everybody can spend money now when they've been spending money up under the table for years. The reason
you say Alabama's been I don't believe that.
Man, they've been buying 5.0s for years. 5.0 Camaros and SUV trucks for years. Their alumni has been doing it for years. For years. That's why Nick Saban got mad at the coach of Texas. That's why the coach of Texas said, hey, I ain't answering your phone call because I know what you've been doing. You've been doing it for years. Now that I'm doing legally, you're mad.
Reg, I got to reel you in. So looking at, I want to look. We already spent some time about the SEC on the last segment, man. It's okay. We're going to agree to disagree. Looking at the wider scope of college football, where money coming in, they say money coming in, everybody's equal. We got our elites against your elites. Ain't this technically?
Everybody's not equal because smaller schools can't spend that amount of money.
I'm talking about okay. we putting all our cards on the table. All right. We know Alabama is going to be there. And I do think, because they got too much returning back. But but a team like Clemson, down year, they'll be back this year. I guarantee you. They'll be back this year.
I agree.
And then out west, you got USC. They're going to be back this year. Look at their schedule. Look at their schedule. Brandon, look at that schedule. Pull it up. I know you got it in front of you. Look at USC's schedule.
I saw it. I said they were there. They got a good schedule.
I like they play Notre Dame. I like they play Notre Dame. That's gonna give them a little push.
You won't see a West Pacific Mountain West team.
Oh, I don't know.
A championship. Who was the last one to won one? Oregon.
Brandon.
How many years ago was that?
Reggie. Remember the Big 12? The Big 12 gonna still be around, but they about to write them out. They're about to write them out.
Nah.
The Big 12 is not sending no chance. The Big 12 would have to go undefeated in their preseason and in their championship game in order to get to the Final Four contest.
About the Big 12. The Big 12, when Texas and Oklahoma leave, I agree. Oklahoma
is still going to be here.
The program that it once was. Texas is going to up and coming because top talent wants to play with top talent because I call it the James effect. So Archie Manning is going to draw top talent to Texas and the dollars. Don't you start wearing no Longhorn gear. Don't you start wearing no Longhorn I'm Notre Dame all the way, man. I'm Notre Dame all the way. I don't change my allegiance. I'm not D Cop. I didn't go from liking Notre Dame to liking Alabama. And they're talking about we got all these championships and he only been there for one. I didn't do that. I stayed with Alabama. I know he was upset because Ty got fired, and I was too. And then they paid that other guy all that money, and he was gone. They just not finished paying him off. But I'm back with Notre Dame. I ain't never left Notre Dame. Let's remember this. I love, in all sports, I love Southern University first. I know this. Then I love all the Indiana schools after that. Amen. But Notre Dame is right after, Notre Dame football is right after Southern University football. But Red, and that's just next year Notre Dame. This is what I got. Next year Notre Dame. It's gonna be good. We got this coach, right? He's one of the people, right? Yes. But there's gonna be too much regression. There's gonna be too much regression. Notre Dame is gonna be okay. I'm not saying he's gonna come out and win a championship next year, but give him 3 years. I think he's gonna be knocking on the door. And another thing that y'all were talking about, you can get back to it. I know y'all getting off there. I know y'all getting off the air at 8 o'clock, so I got a few points I want to get in. How is he going to talk about Turner leaving when your team doesn't have no defense? That's why Turner has to play like he played. He's talking about how is he going to talk about Turner? Man, Aldrich ain't nothing but dead left ship. He can't guard nobody out there on the three. Okay, Turner. Why are you acting on Devin Trim, man? I'm saying. I didn't mean Brandon. I mean Andre Ayton. Can't guard anybody on the 3-point line. Devin Trim's legacy. I know. Look, and I'm talking about Andrew Ayton. He cannot guard nobody on the 3-point line. That's why Phoenix is looking to move him. When he a number 1 draft pick. But like, man, he's had some games. Reggie, he's had some games, man, where he outplayed Carr Anthony Towns. Now I'm saying he got a better team, but he got exposed in the Dallas game. Unless you have somebody else that can come in off the bench, late in the game when you're going defense for offense. Unless you can get him out of that game on the defense when those 3-point shooters are hot, you're in trouble. That's why Dallas beat them. Because they put him in a pick and roll every time. The same way that Boston tried to do Steph Curry, but they forgot about it. I would have put Steph Curry in a pick and roll every time down the court. If it was 100 possessions, Steph Curry would have been in a pick and roll 100 times. And that's what I think. God. So I agree with him on Malcolm. I agree with the dummy on Malcolm Brogdon because I like Malcolm Brogdon off the ball. But what's going to happen, I heard this on an earlier sports show, and I don't remember which one, so I'm not going to take credit for it. I like the dummy. Malcolm Brogdon is going to take playing time away from one of the other young fellas. Now, so you think he's playing? I think he's gone. You say he's going to play? No. I don't know if he's gone or not, but I don't think they're going to give him away for popcorn. I don't think they're going to give him away for popcorn.
Right.
That's what I said. They're not going to give him away for free. Absolutely not. But he needs to go
because he's gonna, some of these young guys got to get out here. And I'm kind of interested to see how basketball in Vegas is gonna go. Next, I agree with the
it's coming.
I like T.J. McConnell. I don't know what T.J. Warren's situation is going to be, but if you can trade them to get some, some picks or something, I'll take that. But my key is
T.J. McConnell's gone, but
the free agent position. I mean, Detroit can make some great moves to shore up some stuff, and some other teams make some good moves. But we need to promise Smith something to keep him here. We absolutely need to promise Smith something to keep him here. Smith.
Promise
the guy from Phoenix.
Jalen Smith.
Hey. Yeah.
Man, no way.
He listened to JMV. JMV said offer him a starting spot.
He will not be with us. He will not be a Patriot.
I'm not saying I'm saying that we need to negotiate with him and try to keep him. We need to try to keep him. We probably won't. We probably don't have enough money. And then the forward position right now is weak this year. The only reason he didn't do good in Phoenix was because they didn't give him a chance. They didn't give him a chance. In the 22-game audition for the Pacers, he proved to me that he's an NBA player.
But is he proving that against a team that was 22, 23 wins? I mean, is he a answer to the troubled equation that the Pacers had? Hell yeah, he's going to do well in a 23-24 game when he's playing with other scrubs on the Pacers because the Pacers were trying to tank. Is he
I think he's a good player. I think he can be a better player. I like his three-point shooting. I like his defense. I think that he's a player.
All right. I like it when you and JB go at it.
And keep him. You can keep him and let T.J. Warren go. But I really think when this core group gets together and gets running, the players, I think, everybody's saying they're going to suck next year. I really do think that they will get to the play-in game. I really think these young guys are hungry, and I really think that they're going to play the right way, and I think they like each other.
Man, they kind of young. Brad, they real young though.
I said the play-in game. I said the play-in game.
They gonna be damn though. Here, if everything was like the Pacers made these moves and nobody else made those moves that they made, because there's gonna be some moves made. You just said Detroit's looking better.
Yeah, but there's not much out there. Who's out there going to be a free agent that you want?
Man,
don't you think Portland by way of Utah? All the good ones are gone.
Well, man, I don't know. I can't. Well,
nobody.
You mean
nobody?
Yeah.
Blake Griffin. Yeah, Blake Griffin and Westbrook. That's another thing that makes me mad. These dumb Laker fans. When I talk about, we'll give y'all Westbrook and y'all give us your whole team.
Rock, Victor Oladipo, and Schroeder go to teams, and then people gonna be like, "Oh, okay." They're gonna cause a buzz. I'm not saying like a buzz. I'm not saying like a buzz that Kevin Durant went to. Say what now?
Victor's best years are behind him. I like Victor when he was here.
So you don't.
I was a little upset he didn't sign, but he did us a favor by not signing that $200 million contract. He did it.
Was 120. It was 120. Don't let the.
Well, 120. Well, I don't remember the number. But he did us a favor by not re-signing here. And I think he let his hype wagon.
Reg, I bet you still get $20 million a year. I bet you still get $20 million.
We'll see. I think he's going to float around like the little German guy that has a little gold in his hair. I think he's going to stroll around like that. And let me tell you this, too. The dummy geek.
But you think they going to settle for $6 million?
He wants Lance Stevens to come back over this young talent. I think these cops don't know sports, man.
Don't know jack. He don't know jack.
He cheers for the Yankees. He cheers for the Tide. I'm glad he don't cheer for my coach no more because he's talking crazy. And I don't think no team is gonna. Take for him.
He was a Patriots fan, right?
Huh?
He was a Patriots fan, right? Or a Rams fan now? Is that what it was?
Man, I don't know who. He's a bandwagon fan. He trolls everybody or tries to be me. He wants to be me. He comes up with all these different dumb takes. And now you see his name has changed from D-Cock the Vegan to D-Cock
what's the word for fish? Presbyterian eater now. And D-Cup eats more meat than a lion. He's always he'll lick the grill after he take the steak off and the grill is still 100 degrees. He is a meat eater. Yeah, I said it.
My goodness.
I said it. I ain't scared of him.
Hey, I'll tell you this. I love the fact that Reggie and Jonathan have been going at it. Reggie, I love it. We on the same side tonight. You going at it with Jonathan. I love it.
And Jonathan doesn't agree with some of the dumb takes. I think Jonathan needs to eat a Snicker bar because he doesn't agree with a lot of stuff that D-Packer says. Or I'm about to start doing Jonathan like you do Dan Dackerish or whatever his name is. I'm about to start doing Jonathan like that or something. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I heard my name being called today. I didn't even pay attention.
In Three Foolish Men, I put you right in that category.
Yeah, I heard my name called like 3 times today, man.
He called you today?
He
called you out today?
He called out. He called me out today. It's all good.
I feel like we got
I know y'all about to close up. I'll call in earlier next week.
Appreciate it, Reg.
What's up with that golf game?
Yeah, what happened yesterday? Tell me. Lunch money?
I want a skin.
I
want a skin. One skin.
I'll be back in 2 weeks to play.
All right, fellas.
All right. See you, Reg.
All right, Reg. Take care.
Man, John. Reggie Sykes, King of Trolls, D-Cot, Nas.
He's fired up, man.
Well, we've had a hell of a show tonight. Nas is the most chill of them all, and I feel he's got the most information.
Well, usually you don't hear that a whole lot. You're right. Usually you don't hear that kind of like trade stuff happen in Atlanta, but Atlanta's been aggressive the last couple seasons and improving their chances to get to a championship game. They ain't gonna play the defense, never. But they're all offense kind of like team. So yeah, it's good. It's good to match up with Nas. Yeah, connect with him.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Well, Brandon, what else you got? We got any more callers?
I'm looking. That's all I have that's showing on here right now. Okay. This thing's acting weird. So
okay, I haven't heard from Sweet Lou in a long time. I thought maybe he might be holding. We were supposed. So anybody listening to right now, we're supposed to have a special guest interview tonight with Pro Bowler Kevin Williams. I haven't heard. I'm just being totally transparent in the middle of the show, Brandon. I haven't heard back from him, so we might have to reschedule. Or we potentially got our wires crossed since we are on Eastern Standard Time, and you know what I'm saying, where he's at, he might not necessarily be on Eastern Standard Time. So we'll figure that out. If we, you know what I'm saying, we'll figure that out if we have to do the interview at some other time.
All right, perfect. John, I'll let you wrap us, my man.
Well, man, dude, again, on fire show. Basically, a lot about NBA free agency and NBA draft.
Go ahead. You're good.
Man, we had a pretty good show. We'll be back bigger, better than ever next week. Thanks for all the calls for calling in. Thanks for all the folks on Facebook Live that chimed in and commented. Thanks to our sponsors, Scott K. Nickel State Farm Insurance. Thanks to our other sponsors, Mavericks Custom Motorsport, and our other sponsor, Washington Logistics. How can we do our show without their help? Do yourself a favor. Follow our sponsors. See what they might have, in store for you as far as services and whatnot. Check them out. I guarantee you they got some fair pricing on anything, whether it's car, insurance, or building, more speakers on your boat or your motorcycle, whatever. Like I said, or you want to use a shipping service. Our sponsors got you covered, so check them out. Other than that, Brandon, dude, like I said, dude, I thought our guy was going to come through us for tonight, so we'll have to reschedule it some other time. Until then, man, thanks everybody for listening.
Thanks for listening to the Crossroads Sports Radio Show. You can find more episodes on iTunes and the Google Play Store.